your perspective. Are you looking at something from right here? Or are you looking at something further back from a higher perspective? This week, or actually just the past couple of weeks, I've really been reminded of how important it is, how important our perspective is. How many of you know that it can completely change the frame? A view from here, if you had to frame it, looks completely different from a view from up here. A couple of weeks back, I went walking on the mountain. Typically as a family, we would always go right to the top, and you can see the entire suburb where we live. And from halfway up where I was, I could see such an obscure view. It was, if I had to frame it, nothing made sense in the picture. Suddenly our neighbor's trees looked like it was in our yard, and the other neighbor's fence was in our yard, and this random tree was popping up in the back of our yard. Nothing made sense in the frame. And I just realized how different things look depending on where you're looking from. And the Lord is speaking. In Ephesians 2 verse 6, he reminded me of the fact that we are raised together with him, seated with him in heavenly places. We are seated with him in heavenly places. That means we get to see what he sees. We're often looking at a problem, at a situation right here, and that's all we see. We're just looking at from this perspective. But he's saying, hey, come look what I see. Come look from my perspective. It's obviously not a physical, we're not in heaven, we are here on earth if you haven't noticed. It's not a physical distance, but it's a spiritual perspective, it's insight, it's wisdom. We get to see the way he sees something. Often when we're looking at situations in our lives and we're looking at obstacles and we're looking at problems, we get so zoomed in and focused in on that issue that we're not seeing what is behind it. We're not even seeing the root around it. But from a higher perspective, suddenly you see, oh, wait a minute, there's actually something behind it. There's actually something to come. And wait, because he's the light unto our path, he lights up the way around. He even shows you, wait, there's a path. There's even one on the left and there's one on the right around this tree that looked like it's in a weird place. He shows us a different perspective. He shows us there's a process, there's depth. From around here, you don't see depth. You don't see anything behind. When we're looking up here, when we're looking from close, we see the now. When we're looking from God's perspective, we see the process and we get to hope in what is to come. Because he gives us a glimpse. The Bible speaks about right now we don't see the full picture, but we see glimpses. He shows us what is to come. Seeing something in here at this perspective, seeing something right into only the now often creates stress and anxiety, which many of us know so well. But the Lord's got he's got something different for us. He gives us power and authority. Being seated in heavenly places speaks of a place of power. It speaks of a place of authority. This authority and power is acted out in obedience to his voice, and it's acted out in our faith walk, in our leaning and in our trusting on him to light up the path around the obstacle, to show us the way, and we step in that as a step of faith. What might seem to be a dead end, a now problem, suddenly becomes an opportunity for us to obey and trust God for solutions, for answers, for a way around. And he always gives a way around. The Bible speaks about him never putting us to the test where he hasn't created an opportunity for us around an issue, around a temptation, around a problem. Heaven's perspective allows us to hope in the future and not to be stuck in the now. And when we pray and when we ask from a heaven's perspective. Just a quick example of that would be, instead of praying for the obstacle to be removed, ask him to show you the way around. For example, I this morning just said, Lord, give me more time for this day. And I realized, the day is not going to get longer. The sun and the moon, that's quite set in its ways. There's not going to be more hours. But then I started praying. I said, Lord, just show me how to be efficient in this, how to show me the shortcut in this process, the good shortcut, where to go straightforward without wasting time. Lord, will you make me efficient? Will you help me with efficiency in this day? Or if you've got a difficult colleague or a work situation or something, ask God for his perspective. How does he see this person? How is he viewing this challenging relationship that you may have? And take on his view of that person and see how that pans out and how that changes the situation. Our advantage is this, that we get to have God's perspective in our lives. We cannot be victorious. We cannot win in daily situations if we don't have his perspective. And my heart is that you would really be victorious, that you will win in everyday small situations and in big things, that you may be victorious and win in everyday life. So take on his perspective and win. I hope that this has blessed you, and I hope that this has encouraged you. Have a wonderful day.